The morning sun peeked weakly through a hazy, ash-filled sky over Tel Aviv, once vibrant with life, now tense and heavy with fear. It was supposed to be just another school day for Noam, a 14-year-old boy who loved math, soccer, and sketching buildings in his notebook. But the sharp wail of an air raid siren shattered the silence. His mother didn't need to speak, her eyes said everything. Together, they ran to the building's underground shelter. The elevator had stopped working days ago. Each step down the cold stairwell echoed with the pounding of panic. Above them, Iranian missiles had breached defense systems overnight. A nearby hospital was hit. Just last week, Noam's school took damage, and his best friend Lior hadn't been seen since. Noam clutched his backpack, not full of books, but of canned food, batteries, and a crumpled photo of his father, an army engineer deployed somewhere near the northern border. Miles away, in Isfahan, Iran, 13-year-old Amir ducked under his wooden desk as the trembling hum of Israeli drones passed overhead. Glass cracked in his windows, and dust fell like snow. His city wasn't safe anymore either. Electricity came for minutes a day. Markets were empty. Hope was rationed. Both boys, strangers in different countries, stared up at the same broken sky, each believing the other was the enemy. But neither of them wanted war. They just wanted normal days again. Days when the sky was blue, and sirens meant recess, not survival. Inside a small underground bunker in Tel Aviv, Noam sat cross-legged on a dusty floor beside a table stacked with emergency supplies. His mother rested silently nearby, her eyes hollow from weeks without sleep. To distract himself from the endless news of destruction, Noam fiddled with a shortwave radio his father had left behind. It was old, the kind with knobs and crackling static. Most frequencies held nothing. Just white noise and ghostly echoes. But then, one night, just past midnight, a strange rhythm emerged. Not a voice at first, but a slow, deliberate pattern. Like someone tapping. Then, words. Faint, poetic, and in a language he didn't fully understand. Still, something about the voice felt human. Curious, he listened. Thousands of miles away, Amir, in a dark corner of his home in Isfahan, carefully whispered into a homemade radio, a project his late uncle had taught him to build. He didn't expect anyone to hear him, he was only reading his father's favorite Persian poems into the void, a habit to feel less alone. But this time, someone responded. In broken English, Noam said, Who is this? A pause. Then, timidly, Amir. I am, just boy. From Iran. Noam's fingers trembled. A boy. Like him. From there. For a few minutes, the war outside faded. There was no missile, no siren. Just two boys speaking across the static, over 1,000 miles apart. United not by politics or flags, but by the simple, quiet need to be heard. Over the next few nights, Noam and Amir found each other on the same frequency, just past 98.7, right where the signal crackled the least. What began as cautious hellos grew into secret conversations whispered through static, hidden from the world. Amir shared how his older brother, Reza, was injured in a drone strike while trying to get medicine for their grandmother. The nearest clinic had been destroyed weeks ago. Reza can't walk now, Amir said quietly, his voice breaking. But he smiles when I read to him. Noam's throat tightened. He had nearly lost his own mother when a missile struck their neighborhood bakery. She was just buying bread, he said, voice low. Now she flinches at thunder. Despite the grief they carried, the boys began sharing more. Amir loved astronomy and dreamed of working at a planetarium. Noam confessed he wanted to be an architect and rebuild cities stronger, safer. Ones where buildings wouldn't collapse under fire. They exchanged songs from their cultures, riddles, even awkward jokes. Noam tried saying a line in Farsi. Amir laughed and tried some Hebrew in return. For a few minutes each night, two supposed enemies became friends through crackly wires, music, and shared dreams. But their connection was fragile. One night, Amir whispered, "If they find out, I will be in trouble. Big trouble." Noam stared at his radio, heart sinking. "Me too," he whispered. Still, they returned night after night. Because even in war, some friendships refuse to die. The night air in Isfahan was unusually still, but Amir felt the tension building. His cousin Farhad, a university student recently drafted into militia duty, had been watching him closely. Too closely. That evening, Amir made his usual trip to the old storage room, his safe place, where wires tangled like vines and his radio sat like a lifeline. But before he could even tune in, the door burst open. "What are you doing?" Farhad's voice cut through the darkness like a blade. His eyes narrowed at the glowing radio. "You've been speaking to someone." "Who?" Amir froze. "Just, practicing English," he stammered, but Farhad already knew. He ripped the headphones away and yanked the radio's power cord. "You're talking to the enemy?" Farhad hissed. "You want to get us all arrested? Or worse?" Later that night, Amir sat alone. His journal open, radio silent. His hand hovered above the dial, but he didn't dare turn it on. Not tonight. Back in Tel Aviv, Noam waited. "Amir? You there?" he whispered into the mic. "Amir, it's me." Silence. No static. No poems. Nothing. The next day, a missile hit a neighboring apartment. Noam's building shook violently, and a thick cloud of dust consumed the sky. His room, his safe space, was gone. His drawings, his books, even the tiny radio barely survived the impact. But inside his torn backpack, he found it, scratched but still working. And with trembling hands, he turned the dial once more, hoping Amir would return. A fragile ceasefire had been announced. The missiles stopped, for now. Cities on both sides breathed, not in peace, but in exhausted relief. Streets in Tel Aviv were half-lit, shops shuttered, and schools remained closed. But the sirens had gone quiet. For the first time in weeks, Noam sat in a chair, not a shelter. His hands trembled as he turned the knobs of the battered radio. The antenna was bent, the dial cracked, but it worked. He hadn't heard Amir in 6 nights. Noam stared at the frequency, 98.7. He pressed the button. Static. His heart sank. "Maybe he's gone," Noam whispered, pain swelling in his chest. Maybe he gave up. But just as he reached to turn it off, a voice broke through, weak, distant, but familiar. "I'm still here." Noam gasped. It was Amir. "I can't talk long," Amir whispered. "But I waited. I hoped you were safe." Noam laughed softly, wiping tears from his eyes. "I thought I lost you." "I thought I lost me," Amir replied. There was a pause. Not awkward, just full. Then Amir said, "Someday, after the war, maybe we meet. No guns. No walls. Just books. And stories." Noam smiled. "And music." "Yes. And music." As the signal faded, the two boys didn't say goodbye. They didn't need to. Because in a world shattered by war, they had found something rare, a connection that survived everything. Not soldiers. Not leaders. Just two boys. A radio. And a shared hope for peace.